Ungulate gyrus, yes, that's part of our limbic system here. And down from there, that
No, that
Lateral
corpus
ventral.
callosum.
corpus callosum, good. Commissural fibers, right, going back and forth. There was a little bit of there was a clear membrane that covered this opening here, and it's right here, that clear membrane right there, sort of translucent. Anybody know that one?
It's the third ventricle of the corpus plexus.
It's the septum pellucidum, sort of the clear septum. And behind that is, if you poke right through that, that is, which is what you see here, see that? That's just big space there. That's the lateral ventricle. So you kind of follow this, and then you come back around, and you kind of fork to the fornix. Fornix will go down here, and it kind of hits, this one's kind of nice. You can see it going all the way down here toward the mammillary bodies. That's what that would be.
There's the mammillary body.
Little, see if I can see. Yeah, that little dip.
Yeah.
See, it only,
Bumps.
oh, you missed it. That's why you can see it, because it kind of went sideways. But see the two bumps right there? Those are the mammillary bodies, and the fornix is actually sending fibers.
And that's the infundibulum.
Infundibulum, yeah, and this is the optic chiasma. Yeah. Okay, so beneath the fornix is where you find the third ventricle, and you can see the choroid plexus here. See all those that knot of blood vessels, and that's what helps define a ventricle. And those things, that's the blood the blood plasma from these are being used to make CSF. But that's the third ventricle, and then you got the thalamus. This perithalamus on either side, this big round structure.
It's under the corpus callosum.
You can see this is one part of the thalamus. If you could peel that apart gently, there's a connection here, and that's the intermediate mass of the thalamus that connects the two sort of spherical parts of the thalamus together. This is, anybody got this? It's the pine cone, pineal body, pineal gland.
Is that the same thing, pineal body, pineal gland?
Yeah.
Okay.
So far, this is diencephalon, and then basically down in here to the infundibulum is just the region underneath here, that sort of vague region. That's the hypothalamus. That's the king of the autonomic nervous system. That's the visceral king right there. In there. It's also connected to the limbic system, which we talked about. Yeah, how emotions can play a part in your physical state. So that's diencephalon. There's the pineal. Then you've got, starting with the midbrain, got these and this. You may know this one up here.
Inferior.
Superior, colliculus.
Oh.
Colliculi? Is that right?
Yeah.
Colliculi is the two. And all together,
Quadrigeminal.
corpora quadrigeminal. And superior, what's the function?
That's what I don't remember.
It also starts with an S. It's sight reflexes. It's the tracking reflex. And this is the startle reflex, some auditory reflexes. So sight. Yeah. Superior and sight both start with S, right? Superior and inferior. Colliculi. Superior here, I mean, these are the cerebral peduncles on either side. This is where the start of the colliculi back there. The little ridge is the crux cerebri that have the motor pathways descending. Then this bump. Anybody know the bump? We're still in this is the brain stem, so you got
The pons? Medulla?
You got midbrain, pons, and then medulla. And the pons is for what? It's respiratory. It helps with the coordinate respiratory center. And then the medulla here, and that also helps with respiratory, but this is where all the reflexes for visceral control are. So the hypothalamus communicates via the thalamus to here and says, you know, this is where you swallow, vomiting, increase or decrease of heart rate, breathing rates. These things are all, the reflexes are all embedded in here, or the control circuits are embedded in here. There's the little bump here on either side. Anybody recall the bump in the center of the medulla? There's two bumps. This is better. There's a bump here and a bump there. These are the pyramids, and they're called the pyramids because they have the pyramidal tracks in there. Those are coming all the way from the motor path, the motor nerves that are in your primary motor cortex, sends axons down that are going to synapse with the ventral horn, right? And these little bumps are those axons. Those are the direct corticospinal or pyramidal tracks, and that's the evidence of that. They go all the way. That's what also creates the cerebral peduncles as well, or the crux cerebri of the cerebral peduncles. There's a little white dot right there. See that little white dot? That's the anterior commissure. Anterior commissure. This is the fourth ventricle here, right behind the cerebellum. And there's a little, some of them are better than others, but there's a connection between this little avenue that goes up to the third ventricle is the cerebral aqueduct. This is arbor vitae for the cerebellum, the folia of the cerebellum here. Definitely want to know the function of the cerebellum. What is the function of this thing? Yeah, well, sort of. It takes information from balance, from sight, from proprioceptors, and it's mainly the major coordinator of movement. So it coordinates movement.